Hello and welcome to It's Not That Late with Liv Harrison. I don't know where you guys are right now, if you're listening or if you're watching. You can watch us on YouTube or you can listen to me on the Veritas app or at 1350 a.m. if you're up in the Northeast or any podcast app that you like. But I want to talk about something more interesting than where you're listening or watching. I want to talk about something that I bring up a lot. We all know I have a cousin who wrote a Broadway show. And at this point, all my other cousins are thinking, why doesn't she mention what I do for a living? And that's a good point. But we're not going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about this Broadway show, shall we? Because here's the thing. My cousin Barbara Anselmi, as you all know, if you've been watching and listening, wrote the theme song to this amazing show. And her bestie, Mamie Paris, sings it for me. And she's a big Broadway actress. Well, Mamie and I were blessed enough to be asked to go to Barbara's opening of her big Broadway show. Now, you would think that would be enough to get me excited. Just the fact that I got to go to opening night of a Broadway show and all the exciting things. But let's get real. There are really important people that go to openings, okay? And by really important, I mean famous. I'm just going to cut to the chase. I had heard a rumor that Neil Patrick Harris, Doogie Howser himself, or if you know How I Met Your Mother, Barney, was going to be at my cousin's opening. Neil Patrick Harris, okay? So my life's work became very clear to me, and it was to meet Neil Patrick Harris at this opening night. Well, Mamie was also going to be there. My husband was there. My parents were there. Obviously, they're not as important. That was a joke, everybody. They were very important, but I was focused. Now, I got a little sidetracked because I didn't think about other people being famous there. For instance, one of the stars in my cousin's show was Tyne Daly. If you watch Cagney and Lacey or any of those, you know who Tyne Daly is. Here's what I didn't know about Tyne. Her brother is Tim Daly. Some of you might know Tim Daly. I grew up watching Wings. They are brother and sister. They're like, 15 years apart, but Tyne and Tim Daly are related. So Tim Daly was there. So I started freaking out because I'm like, I love Wings. I love that show. He didn't care. Also, I didn't think about Rosie O'Donnell was there because at the time she had a show. You had Kelly from, I don't even know what her show is called now, but at the time I think it was Regis and Kelly. I don't know. Lots of different people. There were a lot of old school 80s people because the guy who directed it was David Hyde Pierce. You might know him as Niles from Frasier. So we had Judith Light was there from Who's the Boss? Anybody who grew up in the 80s, you guys are going to love this. I mean, I was geeking out. There were all these really famous 80s, okay? And I couldn't see Neil Patrick Harris. The one person I wanted to see, I could not find Neil Patrick Harris anywhere. I'm running into all these people. I didn't care. I had one focus, okay? NPH. I wanted to meet him. I wanted to see him. Our table that we were seated at the after party. Okay. We go to the show. The show was fantastic. It was so funny. And then we're at the after party, and Mamie's bringing me around and she's introducing me to people. Victor Garber's there. I don't even care. I'm really looking around. And my back is to Kelly, whatever her name is. Anyway, I can't think of it. And all these other people, the cool kids were sitting right here and we're right there. I don't care. I have an eye line to the buffet table. Okay. I can see it at all times. And lo and behold, all of a sudden the clouds open up and the waters part and Neil Patrick Harris walks over to the buffet line alone. And this is in the middle of the party. So we had already eaten. There's nobody else up there. Just Neil Patrick Harris. Okay. So I was like, game on. This is happening. He's here. And so I get all excited and I go up and I get a fresh plate because you're supposed to do that. It's a health regulation. And he has a plate and I look at my husband and I give him a signal to take a picture and I give him the old signal and he takes a picture. You can barely tell what it is, but it's there. Okay, everybody. And it counts. And I look at Nathan and I say, are these the potatoes you were talking about with the cheese? Seriously, that's what I say. Cause I didn't want to walk in and be like, oh my gosh, How I Met Your Mother or Doogie Howser, or I've stalked you all night. Where have you been? I thought those were all things I should save for when we were hanging out later. That didn't happen. So I thought I'll open with I'm looking for some type of potato product. This was my big plan to act cool as I'm meeting this huge star. And let me just say this, everybody. He was smitten with me. He loved it because you know what Neil Patrick Harris said to me? He looked over and he goes, "Are these the potatoes you're looking for?" And I looked at him and I said, "Why, yes, they are. They're scalloped. Thank you, Neil Patrick Harris." And I said all three of his names to his face. And then I took a scoop and I said, "My cousin wrote the show." And he was like, "I'm just here being a supportive friend." That's what he said to me. As in, "Crazy lady, please stop pulling hair out of the back of my head." I was like, that's so weird that happened. But that is how I met Neil Patrick Harris. I am a huge Broadway lover of all the things, even though I have no talent at all. I appreciate the arts and I appreciate everything that they do. And that's my tip to everybody. If you meet someone famous, just talk about food. So here's the thing. I've got a great show for you tonight. I can't wait for you to see and hear what we're going to be talking about. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to It's Not That Late with Liv Harrison. I was just talking about when you meet really famous people and what you to do and not do. Okay. I told a story about what I did when I met Neil Patrick Harris and how absolutely ridiculous that was. But I tend to be a little bit ridiculous in a lot of situations, which is why I like talking about it because it is hilarious. One place that I always seem to mess up is, and I'm not kidding, is at church. I know that sounds really weird, but I don't know about you, JW, but when I travel, we go to different churches, you know, like different masses. And here's what I love about the Catholic Church. It's all the same, right? Like it's the same kind of, you know, you stand, you sit, and it's all in the same parts. It's not like all of a sudden there's like like something in between that you didn't know or you weren't expecting, but there are some differences that can happen. One time we were in Paris. I was 7 years old and we were at Notre Dame, which is really sad because we all know what happened to that beautiful church a few years ago.
Yeah.
And we went up to receive Eucharist, right? It was communion. I was 7, so I'd had my first communion. So the whole family, we go up to receive Eucharist. And my parents left everything we owned in the pews. Now here's the
rookie mistake in Europe.
Rookie mistake. Because we're from Natchitoches, Louisiana. You could leave your horse in the middle of the pew or your baby, like your car keys with your car running. Yeah. You could leave anything in that. Well, that's not true. It's just still a real town. But what do you think happened to our belongings when we got back?
I think you lost maybe a lot of memories from your trip.
Yeah. We had a camera and the camera was stolen. And that's just one of many stories we've had happen at churches around the world. Do you have anything that's happened to you, like famous churches? I don't
know if I've had something like that's happened to me where I've like lost things at churches.
I love that you keep saying lost instead of stolen.
Stolen, misplaced, you know. I mean, I'm trying to think if there's any. I feel like my experience at churches are normally
positive.
Pretty good. Yeah.
Good.
I mean, except when I bring all 3 of my kids by myself, then it's generally not as positive, right? really holding on to my sanity there.
So where are some famous places that you've taken? Have you taken the kids yet to any?
Oh gosh, no.
Big time. They haven't gone to any massive cathedrals or basilicas.
Someday I think it'd be fun to like take them to some of the, you know, places that I've been to that I really enjoyed. But no, for the time being, no, we're not.
We're just going to the local church and just praying we make it through.
Right.
You're in the trenches. You're right there, but it's going to happen for you. I promise they get older. I promise. And then they can sit there and do all the things. So where have you been? Like, where would you like to take them?
Where I want to take them. I mean, I want to take them to Assisi someday. That's a special place to me. I mean, Assisi, St. Peter's, obviously.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, St. Peter's, where is that? Really?
The one down the street.
I mean, right, exactly. We've got one of those. Just take them there. You mean the Vatican?
I would like to go to St. Peter's Basilica. Yeah,
I've heard of it. No, I've been there. Yeah, no, nice.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of like what other. I mean,
what about in Austria?
Notre
you were
Dame
in Austria.
Awesome.
Was there any cute little? It doesn't even have to be famous. Is there a cute little side chapel?
Yeah, I feel that's one of the things that I think is interesting about Europe is like they're all over the place. There's
so
like
many.
Every town has like these interesting little side chapels and stuff, and I think that is cool to me just because there's a lot of architectural and historical significance to all those places that are just so far removed and different from like what you get in the United States. And I think that would be really cool. But no, I've never lost a camera in a church.
I could see you valuing that though. Like,
oh my gosh, if I lost like a camera personally, losing a camera in a church for me would be detrimental.
Oh, so sad.
And I would be like, well, how am I gonna make
Feed my
money
children
right now?
Yeah, your camera and our little, like, who knows what this was. It was one, you probably won't even know what this is, but they used to sell film in like a tube, and you'd had to pull it
oh my gosh.
and feed it in. Do you know that? Did you know that that's what people had to do? I don't know.
I can't tell if you're making fun of me right now. Or
I mean, I feel like I was making fun of you, and then I feel like you would be really sad if I was. So no.
I have a couple of film cameras in there.
Do you? Yeah.
Awesome.
This was an old, but here's the thing. I had a Fisher Price one. Okay.
Well, that's the
Did you
money
have that
one. No, I don't think so. I don't know. Probably not.
Probably not. And I had a sticker on my Fisher Price one. It was like a light blue, and it was like a feed. What do you just call that? A film camera? When you feed the film into the camera, that's all it's called?
Like 35 millimeter camera.
Okay, that's
something like that. Yeah.
So it had like, I brought this to Europe. This one was not stolen. I'm sure my parents were like, why wasn't that one stolen? And I'm sure the people who stole our camera in Notre Dame were like, well, I mean, look at it. Like, why would we take
They walk
that camera?
past your pew and they're like, yeah. We'll let the kid keep it.
We're okay. We don't want a light blue camera with yellow handles. It was like, because it's Fisher Price. It was like ridiculous in like primary colors. And I had a sticker on it that was worn because my thumb, was like, it was right where the thumb would go. And it was a sticker I got from the World's Fair. Like That's World's Fair, yeah, which was in New Orleans. And I want to say it's 84, but it could be 86. It was 80 something that the World's Fair happened in New Orleans. And I remember I put that sticker on my camera. My parents were so mad. They were like, why are you putting a sticker on your camera? And I was like, because I'm a kid. I don't know. Where else do you put stickers? And it was a really cool sticker. I could probably get like $1 billion for that thing now, but I don't have neither. But anyway.
So what age were you at when you went to Notre Dame?
I was 7. So I was really, really little. That's the only time I've been to France was when I was 7. And what's really funny is that there's so many stories that I'm saving to just over the episodes to share with something that has to do with gum. I have a story about McDonald's, and I have a story about college classes. All 3 of those stories will be shared at some point, and they all have to do with this trip to Paris. And we didn't just go to Paris, but that was like a main thing. I had an aunt that was studying French in France.
That's
and
cool.
We got to see her. Yeah. I don't think that's the only reason we went. But I do remember our camera being stolen. I remember going to mass a lot.
Yeah.
But that's what I was going to ask you. There's really famous churches.
Yeah.
You said St. Peter's, you said Notre Dame. But what about those little churches that like nobody knows because everybody's all at those churches? You know what I mean? Like obviously there's other churches in Rome.
Right.
In Paris.
Every corner.
Every corner. They're like Starbucks, but not.
Yeah. I've never been to Paris, so I can't really
okay.
comment on those churches. I think I would have loved to visit Notre Dame before the fire and stuff. I guess. I mean, maybe are they rebuilding it? They're going to rebuild it.
I was just about to ask you, are they?
I don't know.
I don't know. I really don't know what they're
I'm uninformed there, but maybe someday. Maybe someday it would be really cool. I don't know. So what was the question? What are the other churches that I want to go to?
Are there any little like off the beat? Like I have to be honest. This is another story also for another day because I don't want to tell all the stories in one day. But there's a place in Hawaii, in Oahu, that there is a parish there that is our favorite church, hands down, that we've ever been to in our entire lives. It is nothing. It looks like a manufactured home, and it might be, and it is like the most very humble, very small. It is the best community I've ever been to.
That's
ever.
Cool. That's
hands
really cool.
down. And everywhere in Hawaii, they give you leis. Like when you walk in and they know you're a visitor, which we stand out like a sore thumb. They're like, yeah, from out of town. They'll give you like beautiful leis, and some are made out of shells and some are made out of whatever. So cool. And they're a gift from the community. That's
really cool.
Yeah, which is really cool. I have to say, St. Patrick's has never given me any. I give them a lot of money. I go to St. Patrick's in New York. I spend a ton of money. You go to the Vatican and, there's all these tours and there's all these things.
Yeah.
So it's a different feel. It's very commercial. Not that I don't love those big, beautiful churches. There's a reason why they're so famous.
Yeah.
But there's something about those little tiny ones in the big cities that nobody else is going to that I really kind of love.
I think there's something that I don't know that I could pinpoint one specific place. I could probably think of one specific place, but like some of my favorite times of happening into like a church or mass that was going on in a place that I was traveling or visiting have always been, not always been, but like some of them have been definitely those like off the beaten path kind of things where like I wasn't expecting this parish to be here. We just happen to be in town, so I'm looking for a place to go on Sunday or daily mass or something. And the surprise is always like when you go into one of those places and it turns out to be awesome. Cause I actually, maybe like the negative side of me, the part that's not as optimistic, is I always think like, oh, this is a different community. Like they might be a little weird here or something like that, you know?
Yeah.
And to walk in and be like really pleasantly surprised is always like, you know, kind of just a moving thing for me, because if I might get slightly spiritual on this show, which I know we don't do super often,
can't. We're talking about churches.
But like when you go and you visit someplace else that you're not from, and you know that people there hold the same beliefs as you do and offer the same, you know, mass, there's something really unifying and exciting to me about visiting those places and feeling that kindred spirit with them. Like, yeah, there are other people out here who like believe the same things and profess the same things and live the same way. And those are like the churches that stand out that are really exciting to me.
Yeah, there's this connection that you feel and that you don't expect. I remember thinking that like when I was as a youth, and I would go to like the diocesan youth conference here in Houston, and there would be thousands of kids there. And I would look around and I'd be like, oh, you mean there's other teenagers that are, you know, Catholic, or other teenagers that are Christian or whatever? So I get what you're saying, because even when you go to the really big famous churches, it's not like everybody's there for the same reasons. And that doesn't bother me, because I'm like, it should be enjoyed by everybody, right? There's so much art and there's so much history and there's so much whatever. It's not just for us to keep. Like, I really believe like, oh, we should share this with everyone. But I understand what you're saying. There is something a little cozy about walking in somewhere and you feel like this connection with people, and you don't even know, you at least know you have one thing in common, I guess. Yeah, that's kind of nice. You could also say that for like a steakhouse. I'm just kidding.
I've had that experience on multiple occasions.
You looked across the room at someone and you're like, I see you with that ribeye. I feel you. No, but you know, I think that's also what is so, if we are to talk about anything specific at all, I think that's what we all love as human beings. Like for me, another thing is Broadway. Like when you meet somebody who loves theater and they love it and they get it, and you go into a song, or you could go into, oh, I saw this show when I was 12, you know, and all of a sudden then every poster I got was from like anything that connects. Or I'm sure sporty people do this. Like if is that what they do? I don't know.
I guess so. Yeah.
They can connect on, you know, I don't know, like who do I know? The Texans, the Astros. I'm trying to pull out stuff and people are like, oh yeah, I remember that game, that fly
one
ball
baseball team.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think that's a really interesting concept.
No, these like shared experience. They're not shared experiences always, but they're shared affinities, or, you know, just things that like people are interested in that sort of like connect us.
Yeah. And you can always have a story with it. Yeah. I mean, there's always a story that can happen out of church.
Sure.
Whether it's just your kids at your local parish, you know.
Right. Who doesn't know who has not had, what parent has not had the experience of their 4-year-old throwing a tantrum like right at the quietest moment. Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
At the absolute silent moment of everything. Or, you know, when you're in a town and you're trying to find a place to go to mass and you show up and you're an hour late and you're like, well, that didn't work out. You know, like there's all these different amazing stories. So it's going to be a great show. I'm really excited to talk about some more of this stuff with my guest. So you're not going to want to miss any of it. You are listening to It's Not That Late with Liv Harrison. Welcome back to It's Not That Late with Liv Harrison. And I have a really funny guest who I actually met a billion years ago. And we've just kept up our relationship online, which isn't that how we all do the things these days, is just have pretend relationships online. But this incredible man I met because my cousin, who I have talked about on the show before, is a Broadway composer. I have talked about how she wrote my theme song for this amazing show that's hitting the airwaves. And that's how I met this young gentleman at her opening of her Broadway show. And we just clicked. We had so much fun. We had so much to talk about. And in my head, he's written every musical ever. And he's on Broadway every day, front, stage, and center. And we're going to find out if any of that is true. So without further ado, I'm going to let you introduce yourself, Mr. Richard Rockage, because you will do a much better job. Hello, Richard. I want everybody to say hello, and we're going to pretend we have an audience. Everybody scream and shout.
It's not just in my head. It's not just, okay. Got it. This is Liv. How are you, darling?
Hi, Richard. How are you?
I'm like, live and let live.
Exactly. That's the whole point of the show. I really do want you to describe what it is that you do in life, because I have so many things in my head that I want to talk to you about. And I'm like, but everybody doesn't know who you are, because I'm pretty sure I don't say the right things about you, because like I said, you have written everything, you have done everything, you star in everything. Don't burst all those bubbles at once, Richard. Just give it to me gently.
Yeah, I've done none of those. Give it to you gently. Yes. Fine.
It's not that late, Richard. So
it's not that late, but I know a girl who begs to differ. Yeah. She's starting to show. From the Mary Magdalene collection. Anyway, so what do I do?
What do you do?
I do, well, after the in pre-times, I worked on Broadway shows. I've worked on 17 different shows. And essentially, a lot of the times I'm a music copyist, which means I take the orchestrator's handwritten notes or their finale files, the music program we use, and we turn them into sheet music for every orchestra player. That's one aspect of my life. I also do arrangements and orchestrations on my own. I've done a lot of symphony concerts and things like that, and pop concerts for like Liz Calloway and my friend Michelle Ragusa. So there's those. That's another side of my life. It's just me. I do a lot of coaching. People come to me when they get an audition. They bring their books over. They want to learn the new song they have to sing. So we do that. I music direct my friends. I've done my friend Heather Parcells' show, my friend Tyler Haynes' show. Everybody has a better career than I do. I just work with those people.
Same. I know exactly what you mean about that. Here's the thing, though. You're so modest, and I love this about you. Which that isn't true at all. If anybody knows,
I'll give you a list of people who beg to differ.
I was gonna let you laugh. But listen, here's the thing, Richard. I would describe you as a song and dance man, like back in the day.
Who doesn't sing or dance?
But you do, because you have your own show, and you didn't even list it. You had the Richard Rockage show, and it makes my Christmas every year, Richard.
I do love. Do you and your husband watch it in bed while watching Friends? Yeah.
Yes. After Friends in bed, we watch Richard Rockage in bed. That's how we spend Christmas.
At least somebody is. Yeah.
That's a Christmas holiday.
Do you eat beaver nuggets while you're doing that?
You do watch my show. I'm impressed. We have a fan, everybody. We have one fan.
I don't think I would use the word fan. I was just researching for my appearance. No, I love Christmas. My birthday's the day after Christmas, so Jesus is my opening act. We share a stable together. But yeah, I used to be like I would do it throughout the year, and it just got to be a lot. So usually it's just Christmas episodes now, and I do a lot of Christmas stuff. I do tracks of the Broadway Cares Christmas album, Carol's Cure. I've done a few years of those, and gotten to work with like Peter Rivera on that, and
so
Stephanie Block was on one of them. So great. It's always and like cast of like Throwing a Chocolate Factory. We've done some. So that's it. Yeah, I do
it's really fun.
Yeah.
And it's a lot
fun.
of cheer and happiness. And you absolutely bring that. When we met in New York, and are you in New York now? Are you still living there? We don't know who's still left in New York, let's be honest. Because
I am in New York. I'm originally from Houston, Pennsylvania, from southwest of Pittsburgh. But now I'm in New York right now. Yeah.
Yeah. So you stayed. You did not go and leave the mass exodus.
No.
Good for you.
No, where was I going to go?
I don't know.
My mother teaches second grade online. I wasn't going to hear those kids on Zoom all day do their multiplication facts and do cursive writing over Zoom. No.
I know. I want to get to your mom in a second because she also, it's like the television show Sex and the City, how the city is like the fifth character on that show. Your mom is a character in your show, which is your life. So I do want to talk about Ro. It was
a big portion of it early on.
Exactly. So when we met, let's see if you remember. It was 2015 because Barbara Anselmi had her show coming out. It should have been you. And we were at the, at the whole premiere situation. And there was this touristy bus situation that, do you remember?
I loved it.
It was the greatest thing I think I've ever done in the city. Besides Broadway, this was so much fun. Do you remember the name of the tourist attraction?
No, I just remember it had non-equity actors, so I felt a little weird with that. But
it was called The Ride. It was called The Ride.
The Ride.
And I have to say, when I go to New York, I don't do touristy things because I have family and friends. So we never get to do anything. And Barbara was like, listen, we've got to go on this thing called The Ride. And my parents, she brought my parents, I don't know who was there. You were there. I was there. My kids were there. I don't know who else.
I love it's like the end of The Wizard of Oz. And you were there. I think JW was driving the bus at that point.
JW was he was an embryo in 2015.
Yeah, I know. He took a wrong turn to Shenandoah Park and ended up.
He really listens to the show. I hope everybody else is listening. Otherwise, they're going to be like, what is he talking? I love this. You should be the end of the year show next time where you just sum up. Yes, you're like Hamilton.
Am I the first guy?
You're not the first male guest, no, but you're the best.
I've heard you say that before.
You're my first New York guest, I think.
Yeah.
So we were.
Barbara hasn't done it yet. Barbara.
No, I haven't had Barbara yet because I asked her to sing the song and Mamie sang the song, and I just felt like I should give them a break. So everybody might be like, "Oh, we get it. Your cousin. Find someone else." So my cousin's friends. That's why I have Richard.
I love it. It's like the Patty Duke stuff. Because they're cousins. No, we should get Barbara and Mamie to come here. We'll do it like three of us together.
I would how about when I fly up to New York, we just all go out and pretend like, we're doing something. And
you're you're going to sit there and ask questions like during dinner?
Because I have no gifts. I have no talents. I can't sing or dance. So that's all I can do is just be really nosy. So
that's fine. I mean, Barbara, what makes you extraordinary?
We're getting that question. I want to know. I'm not there yet, though. Look at you jumping ahead. You did read the run of show. I love this. Richard, you're amazing. We're not even going to get to talk about The Ride. People are going to sit here going, is The Ride even an actual real thing? And I'm going to be like, that was 10 minutes ago. It was 10 minutes ago. I hope it's still around, is all I was going to say. But next time I'm in the city, we'll have to find out and go and do it. But it was really cool because there were actors, and you're right. There were, I don't know if they were, I don't know what kind they were.
I haven't seen them for a while. I hope it comes back. It was really fun. You would ride around the city, and when you reach the landmark, there would be like some guy who's walking, and then he starts pulling out a microphone, and he starts rapping. And then there's there's a ballerina with little twinkle lights up in her tulle, and she's like in her tutu at Columbus Circle, like torsetting. Yes, it's a lot to take in.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
and the people on the bus with us were a lot of fun. We had two stand-up comedians who I hope they made it. And we sang New York, New York at the end. So this is what I'm saying. It was really lovely. And then you and I connected on Disney because you love Disney maybe as much as I do. You might go.
I go for free. My brother works there, so I go for free. I don't like to pay for things. The 11th commandment is thou shalt not pay retail. That's
is
when my
the
mother and I
11th
go Black
commandment.
Friday shopping. Yeah, that's how we go. My mom and I do Black Friday shopping. We
There
don't
we
want
go.
to pay for. Yeah.
So this is what I want to say. I want people to know who you are before the fall, because this is when I'm bringing in your mother. Your mother, Ro, am I right? Is that what you call her?
That's Ro.
Ro?
Yeah,
you guys.
And the reason we know by it is because on Christmas packages, they would always write, like my brother's mark, MK or an RI, or for her it was RO, and it'd be always in the corner so you knew whose president it was, just in case things got mixed around. Yeah.
So that's how she got Ro.
Yeah.
Well, you two go.
So I'm Ro. Yeah.
Y'all go Black Friday shopping like it's your job. Like it's, and you like video, like it's like a live stream. I have like an outfit I wear while you're out. I eat certain things. I prepare all year for this because you guys take it seriously. Yeah. I love it. I live vicariously through you with your Black Friday shopping with your mother.
And the thing is, we don't really we don't need anything or buy anything. We just like to see how crappy people look. The dress in Little Washington County sometimes leaves. We're lucky people put the uppers and lower teeth in. It could, yeah. Yeah.
It puts me in the holiday spirit, and it makes me feel better about myself. And then we had the Richard Rockage show with the singing of the carols. I'm just trying to say that it's very creepy that I associate you now with the latter part of my year. That's all I want you to know. And I wanted to publicly announce that you have fans who watch you shop and then watch you sing. And it's not creepy. It's like really fantastic. You do a great job at both.
Yeah, it's fine. But I mean, I have to be honest, I have a lot of really talented friends who just sort of continue to come in when I go, okay, Stephanie, you want to sing alto? Sure. Laura, fine. Come on. Lauren, oh, sure. Tess, sure. They just say yes. It's fun. My best friend Casey and I have done a few of them together too. And like when he was in college before he was on his TV show. So it's like, there's like a little time capsules of our lives at that point.
It's really fun though. It's really so sweet. So I got to know this. This is the most important question I'm going to ask you. Obviously it's not the extraordinary one. I have to know, what do you think is the most overrated Broadway musical of all time? What is the one that every time you hear someone say something about it, you're like, you know what? I can't. That is just not my jam. Do you have one that you think is overrated? And then I'd love to know what you think is underrated. I've got my answers. So
that's interesting. I don't actually have it. The reason I'm not going to give one. This is why. Let me do this. Because if there's a musical that inspires somebody to have a better life, and I don't want to dampen it for the three people listening. No, but if it connects and makes you feel better or gives you a perspective of life, I really can't discount anything that brings you joy. You imagine if I said, could you imagine if I said it should have been you? No. That your cousin Barbara wrote? No, I loved it. That's how I got on to Broadway, because of Barbara, actually. And Harry
I love that.
Doing the out-of-town performance of that in George Street Playhouse in
Jersey. Yeah,
yeah,
that's where, and I don't know if a lot of people know that, but when a new Broadway show is happening, it starts off Broadway. So the producers and people can come and see it, and then they decide if they're going to bring it on in. So, all right, fine. What is the most underrated? What is one that you think just doesn't get enough love that you're like, besides It Should Have Been You? What is another Broadway show that you're like, man, that is one that just does not get a lot of play?
I still love Grey Gardens.
I don't even know that one.
Oh, it was wonderful. Christy Ebersol. Oh, it was wonderful. I saw it 3 times. It was a show that I loved, and it was right when I moved to New York. And I remember I just would had my student ID and got student rush tickets for it. I loved that show. Yeah, that's a personal favorite. My favorite show of all time is Hello, Dolly.
Really? That's why. Why do you love Hello, Dolly?
Because it is so character driven. It shows that even in this microcosm of her universe that you see in the course of the show, that one person putting things in motion can change everything around them.
I love that. It's like the whole, ooh, I don't think I've ever thought that long and hard about Hello, Dolly. And now do you have a specific version or, that you prefer?
Not a version. I mean, as a kid, I saw Carol Channing do this national tour, but Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was the mid '90s. They called it the Death Tour. But I mean, she came out and she would walk out and she just walks down the staircase and goes, "Hello, Harry. Yes, well, hello, yes, hello, yes, well, it's so nice. It's amazing. I mean, that's musical theater at its best."
She is incredible. I love Carol Channing. I gotta say, I do love me some Barbara Streisand though, and I did love.
Oh, I like Barbara. I also saw a production at the Kate Playhouse that had Beth Level in it, who was spectacular.
That sounds great.
Before Jade Community, and then also Clea Blackhurst is very much more like Shirley Booth in The Matchmaker, which was a really beautiful take as well. I mean, you can tailor fit. It's our version of Hamlet. It's the theater version of Hamlet. You just put that part on and you go, and you can make it whatever you want it to be. Yeah.
So, okay, let me ask you this. You know that we talk about Catholicism from time to time on this show. And I know you were like, Liv, it's not like you're not an altar boy or
Never was.
a seminarian. But I did see the other day.
But I have the outfit.
You went to Mass.
I did.
You went to Mass and you hadn't been, I'm guessing since the pandemic. I don't know, since the shutdown.
No, they closed church on that Saturday. Like they had made the Archdiocese of New York closed Mass for the entire, for the pandemic. And so and actually we were like the illegal Mass because it was so late that they did it like at 2 and Mass was at 4:30. And like they had to make sure that they wanted people be there. So they let us do the last Mass in New York City. And so was there on that Saturday and everything shut down. And I started watching online. There's a great church in Massachusetts that I was watching their live stream. It's perfect because there's really no music. Because I don't like church music because I work in music and I sit there and I judge the music choices and I go, why did that organist change the chord progression? That doesn't make sense. They missed that note. I judge the singer. I don't want music. I don't focus on things with music. But yeah, I went to church. The reason I went back, I wasn't going to go back until Broadway opened in September. And one of my dear friends, Nikki, had an extra ticket for Bruce Springsteen on Broadway. So I got to go back to Broadway. And so I figure if I can see the boss, I should really go see the boss. So that was when I decided.
I love it. No, that's fantastic. And here's what I really, want to know. So many people go to New York, or hopefully they'll start going back to New York as the city opens up. And hopefully we get, this little problem more under control. Although right now we're not doing a good job in Texas, but
No.
A lot of people go to St. Patrick's. That's the one that they go to. That's the big Catholic church. If you're going to go to a church, but I'm guessing there's other churches in New York.
1 o'clock, St. Patrick's, no music. Go ahead.
Oh, so for all the other musical people out there, if you don't want to hear the music, you go to 1 o'clock. So, but where else should they go? Where else should people go besides St. Patrick's, which is phenomenal? I love St. Patrick's. But what are some, you have a friend coming in town. Where would you take them?
Well, I do love St. Patrick's. I'll go there. I mean, it's walkable from my apartment, which I love. There's also a Croatian church I don't know the name of by the Lincoln Tunnel that I love because at 10 o'clock, it's usually they have like a Mass at 8 and a Mass at 11, both in Croatian. And they have this 10 o'clock one that's jammed in there in English, in, out, no music. But I personally, if somebody is I think St. Malachi's on 49th Street is the one I would take somebody to because they do after show Mass. They do at 11 o'clock on Saturday night. They have Mass after your show, so you could go to Mass and then go drink the rest of the night because you've already done your church. So you can wake up whatever time you want the next afternoon.
Oh my gosh! Okay, I never knew that was a thing. That's amazing. Okay, yeah. So when the city opens up, that's what I want to do with you. I want to go to a show and then we'll go to Mass and then we'll go have an adult beverage or 3.
Are you old enough to have an adult beverage?
Oh my gosh, you're my favorite.
I also have cataracts. Yeah,
so it's not me, it's you. Got it. Yeah. I understand. So let's see. Okay, here's the thing with Broadway and with other things that happen in New York. I got to know this. Why in the world did you get involved in music to begin with? What happened with musical theater that stole your heart? Was it you were a kid and used to watch things with your mom or used to go to shows? How did you develop into what you do now, or what you want to do, like in this career? Where did this all come from?
I think I am much more of a creature of theater than I'm a creature of music. But music was what got me into theater. I love the idea. I love storytelling. I love that. I love that aspect of it. And then when the rules of musical theater are when you can no longer, when words are not enough, that's when you sing. And that I think that for me is a big thing. When did it start? I know as a kid, Meet Me in St. Louis was a huge movie. I still probably could recite that movie right now, most of it. It's a film that I can watch over and over still. Then I went to Sound of Music and Hello Dolly and those films after it. But really, Wizard of Oz was big too for me. So that I sort of and Mr. Rogers actually is a big one because he had such good songs on his show. It's You I Like, and You Can Never Go Down the Drain, and all these great. They weren't kid songs; they were real songs that just happened to appeal to kids. So there was a lot of that. And as a kid, my parents would take me to see shows. More so, my dad. It was because my mom had to watch Mark at home, and so my dad took me to see a lot of shows. Usually at Pittsburgh Civic Light Opera at the Benham Center in Pittsburgh, which I ended up going back for about 9 years as the musical director there. They just celebrated their 75th anniversary. So I've done, 70 shows there or something. But
wow.
As a musical arranger. So it was kind of fun to go back to where I used to see shows. And the rule was you could see as many shows as you want, but you had to sit in the balcony. So it was cheaper because, again, we're cheap. And so the more you work in the theater, the less you want to pay for it. So as I got to work on shows, you sort of move up closer without having to pay as much or anything usually. So seeing shows as a kid, probably around about 4, I think. So I saw Peter Pan with Kathy Rigby.
Oh my gosh!
And when she did it as a
how fantastic! So it just became part of your thing, and I saw that. Yeah. I've fallen in love with Pittsburgh because my son is going to be there this next year. And I didn't realize how absolutely lovely Pittsburgh is. But I didn't know they had.
It's a beautiful place to come from.
It is. It was a good place to grow up, I guess.
Yeah, very cultured.
They must have amazing theater because you were there and you found it. So, all right, we're down to the really important question, the one that you've heard because you've watched the show. When did you give yourself permission to be extraordinary, Richard? And I find you very extraordinary. So I'm giving you a minute to answer.
Oh, a minute. What gave me permission? I don't know I don't know what the permission is. I just know that I like that I'm very consistent and honest. That's why I think a lot of friends come to me for advice or what to do. I love that. Permission to have a lot of friends, because some people go, I have enough friends. I don't think you'd ever have enough friends. I love to share friends. A lot of people hold on to friends. There are people there. I don't like when people talk about their friend all the time, and I never have ever met them. So I just think everybody I know should be friends with everybody else I know. I love that aspect of it. I like to bring the party. I am very big at entertaining. I have dinner parties all the time. During the pandemic, I had 2 friends, and like the 4th week of the P word. Sorry.
No, you're fine. We're gonna say it proudly.
And during the pandemic, we potted up there. My friends Laurie, Ray, and I would get together. Like after the 3rd week, go, who have you been with? Who have you seen? I mean, I had quizzed them more than sexual partners. Where were you this week? What did you do? But we would hang out, and that's the only. I need interaction on my terms. But also not having, I also know, I'm wise enough to know I'm an introvert in a lot of ways, and I need to recharge the battery.
Yeah.
My battery comes from internally, not from grabbing energy from other people.
You nailed it. Oh my gosh, that was incredible. Listen, I want to play a game with you. When we come back, we're going to take a little short break. So don't go anywhere because you are watching and or listening to It's Not That Late with Liv Harrison. Welcome back to It's Not That Late with Liv Harrison, and I am still with the fabulous Richard Rockage. He is the Broadway extraordinaire, living in Manhattan, doing all the things. And here's the thing. We both love Broadway. I think he knows it better than I do because he actually does stuff with the Broadway community. I just pretend.
Yeah, I do too. We all do. We're all frauds.
We're all frauds.
Yeah.
Great.
That's how you get through life.
I'm giving myself permission. I love it. So we're going to play a game, and this is where it really counts. Whoever wins gets to be a star on the next Broadway show, and that's not true. You actually win nothing. So it's a very exciting game.
Even some like beaver nuggets?
Yes. If you win, I will bring you beaver nuggets from Buc-ee's. I will do that. And if I win, we go out and hang out in New York. How about that?
Okay. Oh, I hear that. Whoever wins gets to buys the first round.
Okay, I like that.
That's or the loser buys the first round.
Great. Well, we've established the rules. Here's the thing. JW, the man of the hour, he is going to read.
Where's the applause button?
The applause button. I know. He loves it when we like point him out. And there we go. Yep. See, everybody for JW.
I love being another Y chromosome with JW.
He's going to read some poorly described Broadway musicals, and you and I are going to have to guess which musical he's describing, and we'll see who can get it first. Are you ready?
Sure.
All right. Okay, number one. A
chorus line.
A botanist who is really good at his job causes
Little Shop of Horrors.
We didn't even.
Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah.
We didn't even get through the description.
Oh, do we have to wait for the whole description?
I don't know. I think it might be. We'll give you the point.
Okay. That was a warm up.
We'll give you the point, but let's.
Okay.
This is called taking a cue.
Got it. Okay. I'm sorry. I missed my mark. I'm ready.
All right.
I'm ready for my close up.
All right. One for Liv. Number two.
Okay.
Canadians are nice.
Come from away.
Yep.
Dang.
There we go.
And I really want to see that show.
All right. Number three. A dad wants his daughters to get married, disowns his daughters for getting married.
Kiss Me, Kate?
Oh, Fiddler on the Roof.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
There we go.
Fiddler on the Roof. Why in the world
that's a show I find a little overrated. But
I saw Topol play Tevye when I was 13. I love Topol. No, you're not a fan. Look at your face. Okay, Fiddler on the Roof. I'm hurt. Go ahead.
All right. Number
4.
Number 4. New Yorkers love a good bodega.
In the Heights.
Yeah. All right.
I haven't seen In the Heights. I'm behind.
I haven't seen Cats either. I haven't watched Hamilton. I saw it live. That's enough.
Okay, well, that counts. You've seen Hamilton. I haven't seen Cats.
All right, at this point.
Hamilton, overrated. I'm just going to say everything's overrated now. Cats, overrated.
Lin-Manuel, overrated. Just kidding. Come be on the show, Lin. Okay, go ahead. He's not listening.
All right, we are 3-1 right now.
Okay.
You're falling behind just a little bit.
Okay, I'm in my head. I'm ready.
All right. Which one are we at? Number 5.
5.
A socially awkward kid thinks his foot is magical and wins a contest because of it.
Oh, Billy Elliot.
Spelling bee.
Oh, really?
Yes, that's correct. 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee.
I never saw that one. Wait a second.
Lisa Howard was in it. And
Lisa Howard
my friend Lisa Ewan was. Yeah, my friend Lisa Ewan was also in it. Yeah.
And Lisa Howard was in my cousin's show. And
your cousin wrote a show? I haven't heard about that in 10 minutes.
Tore up the Tonys. That Lisa Howard.
I love it.
It was incredible. Okay, go ahead.
All right. Number 6. Barber tackles socioeconomic issues while also solving local meat shortage.
Sweeney Todd.
And this is like lights out. Liv,
I'm trying to be a good host. I got really insecure.
No, you just suck at the game.
I'm gonna have to get back my Broadway card. Okay. All right, I'm ready.
Probably about 2 blocks that way.
All right, go ahead.
Tough guys do street ballet.
Oh, West Side Story.
West Side Story.
Oh, there you go.
Yay!
You're back on the board.
Barely.
Number 8. Dude with an excessively long name has no facial recognition.
The first thing I thought of was Cyrano de Bergerac, but I'm like, that's not.
And I went SpongeBob.
I don't know any of these, so I can't help you.
Wait a second.
Oh well. As we've now learned, JW not gay.
No.
What was it? Was the space long name?
So let me find it again real quick. Dude with excessively long name has no facial recognition.
No facial recognition. Oh, Phantom of the Opera.
All right, I'll just I'll spill this one.
Okay.
What was that one?
Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella.
Oh, Cinderella. Who has such a long name?
I don't know.
And it's Stein.
Oh,
Which
Hammerstein. He doesn't know. He's adorable. I know. All right, we'll
give me a little bit of a
Actually,
break.
I don't know if we can do one more. Can we do one more? Yeah, let's do one more.
Oh, you're still losing.
I felt so bad. Cinderella. Okay, go ahead.
That would have been a good clue.
Kangaroos are jerks.
Kangaroos are jerks?
That's Broadway musical?
That's all I've got for you.
Kangaroos are jerks.
Oh, Seussical?
There you go.
Oh.
We have a winner.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to buy you a lot of drinks after that, so you forget how bad I was at this game.
Oh my lord,
that was awful.
I'll pray for you at mass on Sunday.
I can't ever say I'm a Broadway fan again. Richard, this was really, really lovely. Is there anywhere that people can follow you or come see you or any of the things? I mean, they can watch the Richard Rockage show.
You can go on YouTube, but really, I'm terrible at social media. I wish I was better, but no, I really don't. Because I actually live in the real world. Because people who are at social media are terrible in real life. Because you can be posting about the life they're not living instead of living it. But I'm on Facebook. You can find me on YouTube. But Richard Rockage, I'm the only one that exists. I
love it.
Richard Rockage,
we only need one. Sir, I hope to see you soon. I'd love to have you back. And thank you so much for doing this today. And I'm going to go watch a lot of TV now.
Hell, you should watch some Broadway shows.
I need to.
Bless your heart.
Lots of love. And when I'm back up there, I'm taking you out. Okay.
Yeah, we're going. We're going to film it.
That's right. Live.
Yeah.
All right.
No, you don't. That's not how it
works. You guys don't go anywhere because we will be back with It's Not That Late with Liv Harrison.